162.
Now we can talk baseball.
Yes. the amount of regular season games left to see him in action. As we said it before, Derek Jeter, he has called his ending.
Yesterday, the Yankees introduced, remember, the Japanese import, the new pitcher, Masahiro Tanaka. Well, today, complete turnabout, saying goodbye to the captain, Derek Jeter. Called owner Hal Steinbrenner this morning to tell him he's retiring at the end of the coming season. Then typed a lengthy goodbye letter for all to read on Facebook, and it reads in part, "Last year was a tough one for me. As I suffered through a bunch of injuries, I realized that some of the things that always came easily to me and were always fun had started to become a struggle. The one thing I always said to myself was that when baseball started to feel more like a job, it would be time to move forward. So really, it was months ago when I realized that this season would likely be my last. As I came to this conclusion and shared it with my friends and family, they all told me to hold off saying anything until I was absolutely 100% sure. And the thing is, I could not be more sure. I know it in my heart. The 2014 season will be my last year playing professional baseball. I've experienced so many defining moments in my career, winning the World Series as a rookie shortstop, being named Yankees captain, closing the old and opening the new Yankee Stadium. Through it all, I've never stopped chasing the next one. I want to finally stop the chase and take in the world. For the last 20 years, I've been completely focused on two goals, playing my best and helping the Yankees win. That means for 365 days a year, my every thought and action were geared toward that goal. It's now time for something new. From the time I was a kid, my dream was always very vivid and it never changed. I was going to be the shortstop for the New York Yankees. It started as an empty canvas more than 20 years ago. And now that I look at it, it's almost complete. In a million years, I wouldn't have believed just how beautiful it would become." Joe Torre managed Jeter for the majority of his 20 big league seasons.
Well, I guess it's time. You know this day is coming, but you don't necessarily look forward to it. But a couple of years of being injured, I'm sure he's had a lot of time to think about it. And it's just a chance now to admire what he's done. And I certainly, I'm being inducted in July, and if it wasn't for the fact that he was one of my players, I doubt if I'd have been in that situation. Now you have an opportunity to look back at the memories they created, and that's really the way I have to look at it. It's really celebrating which he never has an opportunity to look back. I think it's going to give him that opportunity to really take it all in.
So many great players to suit up in pinstripe, but nobody has put on the jersey more times than Derek Jeter.
Well,
A group that includes Ruth, Garrett, Mantle, Berra. Jeter stands above them all in terms of service with the Yankees, the most hits. Really, there's a guy that went out every day, barring last season, obviously, with all those injuries. 2,602 times the Yankee captain, Derek Jeter.
We're joined now by ESPN Baseball Tonight analyst Tim Kirkjian here. First, Tim, your reaction to Jeter's announcement that he's done after this season?
Well, I'm not totally surprised by this. Derek Jeter is, of course, a very proud guy, and if he can't play at the level at which he's used to playing, he doesn't want to play anymore. Keep in mind, only 5 shortstops in Major League history have ever played 100 games at that position at Derek Jeter's current age. All shortstops essentially lose it at some point. He's lasted way longer than most, and next year he's going to be 40 years old. To me, it's very symmetrical, almost 20 years, retires at 40 basically, played his whole career with the Yankees. I think this was the best thing for him to do, and now he won't have to deal with questions all season. Every time he goes 0 for 4 or 3 for 4, is this your last year? By getting it out there, maybe this is going to make it a little bit easier on him, and maybe on the team also this year.
Seems like he's extremely comfortable and confident with his decision. Tim, can you try to give us perspective on what this guy exactly has meant to the Yankee franchise and to baseball in general?
Well, as for baseball, he has been the face of the game for at least the last 10 years and probably the last 15 years. I remember talking to Dave Roberts when he was with the Red Sox, and I asked him, who is the face of baseball? And he looked at me and he said, Derek Jeter. Who else? That's how important Derek Jeter has been. and he's the captain of the Yankees, of course. Buck Martinez, when he was the manager in Toronto, told me that Jeter's the captain of the Yankees because he runs the first harder than anyone, and he never slacks off on anything in anything that he does. That's why he's the captain of the Yankees. You can hear him running first base. And that's the way that everyone in the game looks at him. And don't forget that Buck Showalter was his first manager, and they asked Buck in basically Jeter's first spring, what number should we give him, 62, something like that? And Buck said, no, you need to give him a single-digit number. He's going to be really special. The equipment man said, are you sure? And Buck said, I'm sure. And that's what Derek Jeter has become, something way beyond special.
Incredible story. Tim Kirkjian, thanks for the insight. Baseball tonight on the spring training bus for Baseball Tonight this Monday. And Yankees GM Brian Cashman said it has been an incredible honor having a front row seat for all the great players of all time. Derek has been a winner every step of the way. I'm already looking forward to an exciting final chapter of his storied career.
Not that we doubt Timmy Kirkjian for even a minute, but Baltimore Orioles manager Buck Showalter, kind enough to join us here on SportsCenter. Buck, yes, you were managing the Yanks when the franchise drafted Jeter in '92. You were the first guy to write Jeter's name on a big league lineup card. How is it you knew he was special and that he needed a single-digit number? Having trouble at this moment hearing Buck Showalter. Trying to confirm that we have Buck there. All right, we will try to get back with Buck because obviously he will have tales to tell as having been his first major league manager. And the guy, as we said, when they picked the little skinny kid out of Michigan, 6th overall in the 1992 draft, Buck Showalter was looking at that draft board. Much more on Derek Jeter to come here on SportsCenter. All right, we are going to try again. We're going to take a mulligan. Buck, are you there?
Let's go, guys. This is pretty good news. Baltimore, okay?
Well, you still got 19 games against him. You think you can lock it up for that?
We'll try. I tell you what, it's a lot of pride involved just watching Derek, and you know, he comes across as so sincere. And you know, we've always talked about how his substance has always been his style. You know, he never tried to make something look easier than it was. And you know, I got a question for you, John. What do you give this guy? You know, where they go around, you know, we gave Mo a broken bat last year coming through Baltimore. What do you give Derek Jeter? Another gold glove.
Yeah, I mean, the life seems pretty good. He's out there in New York City and the pro career he has had. But we just had Tim Kirkjian. I don't know if you heard him. He said that you told the equipment guy he needed a single-digit number. I mean, this is a kid you just picked out of Michigan. To look at him, he didn't look to be 140 pounds soaking wet. How did you know he was going to be special?
Well, I'm not that smart. I had a lot of people tell me that had seen him a lot more down below. And, you know, it doesn't take John Super Scout to figure out Derek Jeter was going to be a really good player, you know, especially, you know, spending time around his mom and dad and the upbringing he had and how he interacted with his sisters and sister. And he was just, you know, I remember the first time I saw him in the end of the dugout when he came in after the draft, and you first look at him and go, boy, somebody must really be pretty good at projecting things, because you just knew he was going to be as good as he was capable of being, because he was going to give himself a chance to be good. And you know, I think about the conversation I had with Don Mattingly coming back from Seattle in the playoffs in '95 when Donnie told me he could no longer do the things that a first baseman for the New York Yankees needed to do, and he wanted to give us a heads up so we could get ahead of it and go get Tino Martinez. It ended up being. And I kind of think about that with Derek. You know, he wants everybody to know in advance so that there's, you know, he's going to get everything coming his way during the course this year, but giving him a good jersey number was a real easy decision, and I had a lot of help with that decision.
All right, so you got time to think about this. Last game at Yankee Stadium for Derek Jeter will be against your Orioles. What happens that day with you?
Well, I hope we score more runs than the Yankees.
Sure, we want you to win.
Derek will probably have something to say about that if I know. I mean, I got to see his first game, I believe, and get to see his last game. I don't know. It'll be something I'll reflect on later, but right now, to be a little cold, I'm more interested in the Orioles figuring out a way to beat them. And I know he's been such a thorn in everybody's side in a good way, but there's not a second passes during a game we're playing them when I and baseball people don't take a lot of pride in the way he goes about his business. And we have a guy here, J.J. Hardy, very similar in that they both are very professional and
Shoulder, Orioles manager. Yeah, 19 more games against Derek Jeter. Good luck this season, Buck. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy spring training. So hopefully you'll get some good weather down there.
All right, John. I appreciate y'all having me. Bye-bye.